You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and
you'll be there. Yes, you will. Hello again. This is Elizabeth calling from Clarksville, Arkansas. After there, that everybody right now is probably saying, "Thank God we live in L.A. where the sun is shining and the temperatures are nice." Whereas the rest of the country is a little bit on the cold side, and the snow, oh my goodness, New York, Buffalo, New York, our hearts go out to you. Literally 6 feet of snow. I saw a picture of a door opening to nothing but a wall of snow. Literally means what it means to be snowed in. Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
My goodness. And then I saw on the... there was a newscast talking about how a busload of girls were coming back from a basketball game or something, and they're college students, and University of Nebraska, I think. And they were stuck on I-90 for well over 20 hours, but thank God they had heat and food and water. And hopefully the bus had a party. I don't think the newscaster asked them that question. But my goodness, what an experience.
Yeah,
and talking about experiences, this week, God has led, as he always does. He starts out in one direction with me, and then in the next 2 or 3 days, it progresses into the fullness of what we're supposed to talk about. And last week, it really started with last week with a good friend of mine sharing with me how a song really blessed him and touched him. Is Eileen there?
Not today, unfortunately, but me and Johnny are here for you.
That's okay. That's fine. I'm so thankful he did, because when he did, I said, wow. And we're going to talk about this song, and we're going to talk about interpretation and how the experiences of our life, we've talked about this before, but the experiences of our life leads us all into seeing things differently or interpreting things differently. Case in point, we're all waiting for the end result of a grand jury of this Ferguson, Missouri case. And we really need to pray that things do not go crazy.
Yeah.
We really do, because people seem to believe what they want to believe, regardless of what even a grand jury may say. This is what actually happened. And we decided this is what actually happened. So we're just humans, and we're going to believe, no, this is what I saw, and I know I saw, and this is what happened. And we're going to talk about how even, this is why I guess we have so much trouble with different religions, all thinking they have the truth, because everybody can read the Bible and see something entirely different because of what has happened to us in our life. I know, and I know you too, both of you. We have read the same verse of the Bible, but at different times in our life, and it means a different thing to us, right?
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so, like today, I'm going to pull it up. We're going to talk about this later in the show, but right now we're going to talk first about songs and how much songs have meant to us in our life and have really been part of our life. And music has been one of the blessings of in the past week is the fact that music, thank God for music, has really been on my lips and in my heart and my mind and the spirit. I go to sleep at night thinking, bless the Lord. Oh, my soul, bless the Lord. And that song that we shared once before about how 10,000 Reasons is the name of it. And then that one about thriving. All I have to do is go into my subconscious mind or, back in the memory section of my mind, and boom, there's another. It's like you have this thing in your mind where you push a button, E4 or something like that, and here comes a song you need to hear or want to hear. But anyhow, thank God for music. This past reading that we had today, we're going to talk about later, but it is really one that you can really say, wow, what is that all about? And it's from Revelations chapter 4, 1 through 11, if you want to pull that up somewhere so you can have it and read it with me after a while. But it talks about what John saw, and I'm going, whoa, what is all the meanings behind all these things? So we're going to get into that later, and the only reason I give it to you now so you can get it pulled up. Revelations chapter 4, 1 through 11. Okay, this is a vision about what John saw. All right, the other thing I want you to go ahead and pull up is the lyrics to the music, The Horse with No Name. Now, if there was ever a song that has verses in it that you're going, huh? What is that all about? Well, last week, when Zolene pointed this song out to me, and as he was sharing what it meant for him, I was seeing an not entirely different, but I was seeing what I needed to see and what I needed to be reminded of. Now, as he was playing it, and I was listening to it, and as I was out on my computer too, I was imagining in my mind, and he was able to help me too, but I was imagining in my mind actually riding on a horse or journeying through the desert. So let's go ahead and pull that song up and play it. But as we're playing it, I want you to do this. As we're playing it, if you get the one with the lyrics, it'll help you. I want you guys to, when you see something, word association with it, write down a word that goes with the word that you see that you go, oh, okay, this says this to me and that says this to me. And the other, or you could put a question mark by a phrase that comes up and says, what would the world is he talking about? So we can go back and go over this and see the difference between the three of us of the interpretation that comes out of this. And there's no correct answer on this, okay? So you got it pulled up?
Yes, we do.
Okay, let's start it, and you guys start writing, and I'll start writing.
You said we write down compared to what again?
What I want you to write down is word association. When a phrase comes up and you see it, a word or two that what comes into your mind when this is being sung. Or the other thing is a question mark. If you just go, what in the world is he talking about here?
Okay.
But try to write down your thoughts as you're listening to this song and thinking about this. A hint. He's talking about a journey in life, to me anyhow. Sure. I may be wrong, but let's see what y'all think.
Okay.
Go ahead.
On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all the life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rain. The first thing I met was a fly with a buzz and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can remember your name, because there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. After 3 days in the desert fun, I was looking at a riverbed, and the story it told of a river that flowed made me sad to think it was dead. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. is a desert with its life underground and the perfect disguise above. Under the cities lies a heart made of brown, but the humans will give no love. See, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La, 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 la,
Okay, I think you can cut it off now. I love this. I love all of the vision. I mean, the pictures and the way that he said things to make you wonder. Like the very first part, there were plants and birds and rocks and things. There were sand. Back up here again. And hills and rings. That part in itself, I'm going, what was he talking about there? Well, first, y'all chime in. Tell me what you think about those lines.
This song has always been considered by a lot of people as one of the most confusing songs of all time. So it's hard for me to really know. I mean, I was writing down specific things I'm wondering about, but I don't really know what's going on. The guy's trying to. He's on some sort of spiritual quest. Obviously, he's out by himself in the desert by choice, and he's on a horse with no name. But people, the joke, it's such a cliche now. So many comics have joked about it. Like, why doesn't he just name the horse? Who cares? So I don't know.
Okay, John, what was your thought about number one, desert?
The number
journey.
Well, he said a lot of things there in that part there, and for the desert, in the first part of the journey, he's looking at all the life, and there's all this life and birds and rocks and things, and then there's sand and hills and rings. And, that's, for a desert, you don't think of it. Most of the time, people think of a desert, at least outside of California, as a place with no life. So, him pointing out that there's birds and rocks and plants, that's kind of life in the desert, Oh yeah. I'm a Southern California native. I know how. Yeah. I love the desert.
So from the very beginning, he's pointing out what we all should be paying attention to is that there's always something to be appreciated wherever you are, and whatever place and scenario that you're in your journeys of life. And the one thing that I was looking, I could see the sand and the hills. And, when I picture desert, yes, you're seeing all these things. I'm going, rings. What's the rings? Other than the swirls and the sand, I'm not. It was the one word that I couldn't. And rings. That was the only word. Up until that time, I could see what he was. I can imagine and I can see that. He's journeying in the desert. And we all do in life. Myself, right now, in the past, if everybody's been following what God has been taking me through, you could call it the dark night of the soul. You could call it taking me out into the desert. And the great prophets and Jesus himself went out there for 40 days. And I'm going, okay, I'm not liking